2022 men's Final Four is here today in New Orleans. We got pretty much all the famous teams in the Final Four this year, all blue blood teams and the teams that I think people generally associate with college basketball, with 17 national championship wins between these four teams, and each one has won at least 3 national championships. I'm really excited for today, as every basketball fan should, with the Final Four today. And action starts around 5 p.m. Central, and Monday is a national championship. It's a very popular Final Four, and it should be epic. Let's break down the 4 teams. First off, we got the Kansas Jayhawks, the number 1 team in the Midwest, the only number 1 seed left in the tournament, a powerhouse with 3 national championship wins. Pretty easy road to the Final Four that they made it through. They didn't have to go through number 2 Auburn. A lot of different pieces led by Coach Bill Self. Remy Martin, big weapon, was there throughout their tourney so far. David McCormack had 15 points in their win against Miami. And, you know, their road was pretty easy. Beat number 16 TSU, number 9 Creighton, number 4 Providence, and then beat number 10 Miami in the Elite Eight last weekend. We're down by 6 at halftime, 35-29. Ended up winning 76-50 with literally a 32-point turnaround in the second half, which is just insane. Probably the greatest second half I've seen in a long time. And this team is just so dangerous offensively. I mean, you have Ochai Ajibaji, if I said his name right, with 18 points as well. So, I mean, you have David McCormack, Mitch Lightfoot, Remy Martin. You have a lot of great players on this team. And then Villanova, the number 2 seed in the South. I think a big loss for them. It's going to be tough for them without Justin Moore, who was diagnosed with a torn Achilles last week against Houston. And so he's out. That's a big loss for the Wildcats. I really honestly don't see them beating Kansas without him. Cullen Gillespie, he was locked down by Houston. They'll need him to have a big impact if they're going to have any chance in this game. And then their road, they beat number 7 Ohio State in the second round, number 11 Michigan in the Sweet 16. And, you know, honestly, they probably should have lost to the Houston Cougars in the Elite Eight if Houston just made 3 more threes in the game. Houston was shot 1 out of 20 from 3, which is just horrible. They have an amazing defense for sure. Villanova, one of the best in the country. They also are a really great free throw shooting team, the best free throw shooting team in the country, around 86%, really good shooting as well. But they'll have to be on fire to have any chance to win. They beat number 5 Houston 50-44 in a very extremely defensive game. Villanova's won the national championship 3 times, recently in 2018 and 2016, if you remember. 2018 beating Michigan and 2016 beating North Carolina 77-74 on a game-winning buzzer beater for the championship by Chris Jenkins, and they're led by Coach Jay Wright, who's also really exceptional. And then, of course, arguably the most popular team in men's basketball, the Duke Blue Devils, keeping Coach K on his farewell tour, has led the Blue Devils to 5 national titles, 13 Final Fours, which is the most in NCAA history, and he's been the coach since 1980. And he was also coached the U.S. men's team from 2006 to 2016. They beat number 7 Michigan State, beat the Arkansas Razorbacks 78-69 in the Elite Eight, and they dominated throughout that game, led by Paulo Banchero, arguably the best player and potential number 1 pick in the 2022 NBA draft. He had 16.7 rebounds, 3 assists in that win. And their wing players, I think, are just outstanding. Of AJ Griffin, who scored 18 points as well. They beat the number 3 Texas Tech Red Raiders 78-73 in the Sweet 16. They can definitely win it all for sure. I think so. And they last won the national championship in 2015, beating Wisconsin, and they've won it 5 times. And then finally, you have the North Carolina Tar Heels, the number 8 seed in the East this year, where they beat the number 1 seed Baylor in the second round, and you had number 2 seed Kentucky go down in the first round as well. So this division really was pretty, I guess you could say, the easiest out of all of them. I think it was wide open in the East for this team, and they took advantage, to say the least. Beat number 15 St. Peter's Peacock 69-49 pretty easily. And North Carolina has won the national championship 6 times, most recently in 2017. They had a tough road, honestly, after beating number 1 Baylor in overtime 93-86. They beat number 4 UCLA 66, a Final Four team from last year. And, they've had arguably the toughest road to the Final Four. Really good offensive team led by Brady Manick, a great shooter, transfer from Oklahoma, who had 19 points and 8 rebounds. He had Armando Bacot with 22 points and 20 rebounds as well. I think this team is very special. Let's share my prediction for the first Final Four matchup today, which is Saturday, 5:09 Central at Caesar Superdome in New Orleans on TBS, featuring number 2 in the South, Villanova Wildcats, taking on the number 1 team in the Midwest, the Kansas Jayhawks. And I have Kansas beating Villanova quite easily, 62-52, especially in the second half, where I think Kansas gets out to a big lead and they never give it up. I think it's pretty close in the first half. Like I said before, Justin Moore injury really hurts the Wildcats in this game. I think Kansas is just so explosive offensively. They have a lot of potential scores. I think if Villanova has any chance to win, they're going to have to score really well. I think Cullen Gillespie has to score really huge in the game. I'm not sure if they can, keep up in their shooting against Kansas, but they'll have to get to the free throw line because they're the best free throw shooting team in the league. If their defense is great, I definitely do think they have a chance in this game, but I think Kansas should get the win. And in the other game, the second game in the Final Four, we got the number 8 team in the East, the North Carolina Tar Heels, taking on the number 2 team in the West, the Duke Blue Devils. This game is right after the first matchup, again in New Orleans on TBS. I have the upset here. I think the Tar Heels get a big upset and beat number 2 Duke. I think this matchup is historic, just so good between these two powerhouse programs. I'm feeling UNC right here. I think Duke's under a lot of pressure here, obviously with potentially Coach K's last game. They're number 2 seed facing number 8 seed. I think UNC, they play fearlessly. I think they win a very tight game. An amazing Final Four game, really, in this game. Paolo Banchero, I think he's going to have another great game. I just think North Carolina plays really hard. I'm just going with my gut. I'm just going with the upset here. I think Duke can definitely win this game for sure. They could dominate this game. Who knows, honestly, with their talented players and their clutch scoring. But I think Brady Manick's going to have a good game. I just think UNC's got something special here. So those are my Final Four predictions. And for my championship, I have North Carolina versus Kansas, and I think Kansas wins it all this year. If you take a look at my personal bracket, I had my team, Go Cougs. I had them winning March Madness. Unfortunately, they lost in the Elite Eight. But realistically, if you remember in my March Madness preview video back before this tournament started, I said I thought Kansas was going to win this tournament, and I'm going to go with them here. I do think they'll make the national championship, definitely, and I just think they'll win it all this year. They're just really a special team offensively. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and comment in the comment section who you think is going to win it all this year, and I'll see you in the next one.